on my shoulder? I feel like there's something there. I'm starting to hear something. It's a voice getting louder. It's saying, you are enough. Your voice matters. You can do this. You are important. I love this voice. This is a great voice. But she wasn't always this kind. She used to say things like, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You're not important. You're not ready for this. Maybe when your kids are grown, maybe when you quit your day job, but you're not ready. And nobody really cares about your message. And you aren't good enough. Wow, glad I booted her off my shoulder. She was heavy. She must have weighed 600 pounds. And I booted her off, and I'm so glad. We all have these voices on our shoulders. Maybe your voice is mostly negative, and you can change that. And maybe your voice is mostly positive, but pop! Sometimes that negative voice pops out again. In our short time together today, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1, what voice is on your shoulder? And what voice do you choose to pay attention to? When I was growing up, I experienced a lot of trauma over and over again. And it hurt. And I never spoke up, never for a long time. And that hurt. Question number 2, have you ever not spoken up about something? And how did that feel? And 100% of us should probably say, there's been a time that I was in a relationship and I didn't say what I felt, or maybe at work you didn't advocate for yourself. When is it that you didn't speak up? And how do you bring that forward into your relationships and into your work? Do you promote yourself as much as you could? And is that something you feel comfortable with? So what I did was I buried myself in musical theater because I could perform and I did not have to be me. I could be somebody else on stage. That worked for a while. And I accomplished a lot of things. I won awards for my choreography. I graduated high school early. I went to college and got a couple degrees, but I still wasn't happy. And my mission now is to help as many people as possible to speak up, to speak and tell your story. And tell the hard stories. Sometimes you'll tell this story over here, but you're not willing yet to tell that story over there. So what story do you have inside? And this can be in your personal life and your professional life. They're both important. In fact, they're both so connected, right? Whatever you do in your personal life comes into your professional life. So I kind of joke sometimes, I'm a public speaking life coach. It's one word. And I'm a life coach and a public speaking coach, but I'm a life coach because I want to bring life into your speaking. I want you to get excited. I want you to feel your life pulse through you, because that's how you excite other people. And what does that feel like? And maybe you don't want to excite people to be happy. Okay, that might be my mission. I like to be joyful and happy. But maybe you want to excite people to be angry. And not that toxic anger, but you want people to be angry enough that they care about changing the world. Or angry enough so that they're sick and tired of what's going on in their life and they want to change something. Or maybe you want to excite people to feel their sadness, because a lot of people feel sadness. And I felt that sadness. But maybe you have to feel that sadness so that then you can get to the hope. And that's what you can do, but you have to excite people to get there. And that's why I'm also a public speaking coach because I want more people to speak up and speak so people listen. That's just as important. So let's say you have the courage now to speak and you're speaking up. Great. You're speaking up in your relationships. You're speaking up with your work. You're promoting yourself more. But I also became a public speaking coach because I went to a lot of groups, and after a while, people start sounding like, they all sound the same. And that's kind of boring, right? We need some interest in our lives. We need excitement. And you have to stand out from the crowd. More than ever, we crave connection. We don't want more information. You can get information everywhere, right? And now more than ever, it's ChatGPT, it's Google, it's YouTube. You can get information. What we want is an experience. And that's what I want you to feel excited about in yourself and give other people an experience. So how do you do that? Easier said than done, right? It took me a long time to figure that out. I remember the first time I went to theater, I was 5 years old, and I was sitting there next to my dad and my big sis, popping Junior Mint candies. Oh, I was in heaven. What could be better? And it was a Broadway show, and I was hooked to see these people singing and dancing on stage. I mean, it was really great. It was so exciting. I was hooked. And so I buried myself, as I mentioned before, in theater for a long time. But it's exciting. And then when I became a practice management consultant for the medical field, I did a lot of public speaking and I performed, because that's what I knew how to do. I was a performer. And that's great to a degree. You have to be exciting. You have to be entertaining. You have to perform to a degree. But you also need to connect to the audience. And I had no idea how to do that. In fact, I don't even think I had the intention of that. I just wanted to give this great information and say, hey, this is great information. Come on, work with me, join me. Didn't work. It was really bad. I was really bad at it. So I had to learn how to connect. And the best way to do that is to master your energy. All right, now she's getting all woo-woo on us. Look out, she's going to be woo-woo. Let's make the woo-woo practical. Energy is something, I'll give you some examples of what that looks like so you know it's not just woo-woo. Let's say you meet somebody at a party or a meeting and they look okay, they're dressed okay, but yet you get this creepy feeling from them, or just this feeling that you don't trust them. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. And then on the other hand, you meet somebody, maybe you met your spouse this way or your bestie friend, and you meet them and they look okay, but they don't say the perfect thing, but you're attracted to them. You want more of them. You feel good around them. That is their energy. So we can all relate to that. It's a real thing. And the other way to be a great speaker and really affect people and make a difference is to master your presence. And that's a real overused word, presence. What does that even mean? A lot of people think mindfulness is the same as presence. Mindfulness is really important. You want to practice that? It's not thinking about the past, not thinking about how what's happening now is going to affect the future, but it's about being aware of what's happening now. But you're still in your head. You're in your head energy. Presence is getting out of this head energy and into your full body presence. And that is not easy to intellectually understand. I feel like I know a lot of people want to have a fly on the wall and be a fly on the wall, but there's a fly on the face happening right now. And that's not the kind of fly on the wall I was looking for. So presence. Imagine you have an elevator that takes you out of your head, down and down and down into your heart space. And we hear about speaking from the heart. That's really important, but that's only taking you halfway there. If you go down even further, down and down and down into your lower abdomen, into your belly, that's where the true essence of you lives. And it's not just what you've done, it's not your accomplishments, it's not your identity, it's the essence of who you are. It has a consciousness of its own. We've all heard that, trust your gut. I have a feeling in my gut, right? So I'm calling it home space because it just sounds lovelier than gut. Gut doesn't sound so lovely. So let's call it home space, where you're truly home. And see if you can feel your energy inside your body, in your heart, and in your home space. It takes a lot of practice, but it's a great thing to practice. So question number 3 is, do you allow yourself? Will you allow yourself? Because you have to allow it. It's something that we resist. We resist being in our bodies. It's not easy. We've got memories in there. We've got all kinds of thoughts in there. We're afraid of what we're going to find. So give yourself permission to allow yourself to get inside your body and feel what that feels like and communicate from that place. You know, when people have presence, let me just give you an example because it's much easier than trying to describe it. So somebody walks into a room and everybody notices. They kind of perk up. The energy shifts. And then another person walks into the room and nobody really notices and the energy doesn't shift, and sometimes you go, was that person even there? I don't remember. Or maybe they don't remember you were there. When you have presence, you command the stage, you command the room, and people want to know more about you, know more of you. You know, energy is, communication is only 10% the words you say. Some people say 7%. I like to round it up. I like to round everything up. It's just so much easier to think about it. So 10% the words you say, that's it. And we worry so much about what we're going to say, whether it's talking to your spouse or whether it's being on a stage. Oh my God, what if I forget what I'm going to say? What am I going to say? I want to make it sound just right. But really, it's only 10%. Now, your words are important. Your words are important, but it's only 10%. It's 20% your tone of voice, and it's a whopping 70% your energy. It's your body language, it's your facial expression, it's your passion, it's your confidence, and it's your energy. And that is how you communicate from a place where people will get excited and where you will feel better. It feels wonderful to be in this place. It's a different type of communication, and it's really important. So that's how you captivate when you're speaking to a crowd. That's how you captivate when you're one-on-one with people. And it's really important to learn how to do that. So my mission as a coach is not just to have you speak up and tell your story, but speak so people listen. Because too many people are speaking and no one's listening. And I experienced that myself for a while, where I would speak and people weren't listening. And that is my mission, to have everyone speak and feel listened and validated and appreciated. So, what are the 3 questions? Anybody remember what the 3 questions were? Question number 1, what voice is on your shoulder? And what do you choose to pay attention to? Question number 2, have you ever not spoken up? And how do you bring that into your current life? Are there still ways you're holding back? And question number 3, are you willing? Do you give yourself permission to go inside your body and communicate from this real embodied place where you're more authentic, you're more magnetic, and you're more joyful, because it is the essence, the real you. Your voice is the most powerful, most precious thing, the most precious possession that you have. Speak with its full potential. I beg you. I encourage you. Thank you.